just a delay?
No, you will hear us on the second, how do you call it? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I can see the stream and everything. We should be live.
Yeah, let's give
Links
it a bit
are
more.
tweeted.
Let's give it a
Yes,
tiny
just
bit.
let's wait a second. Hello everyone. We are once again streaming at a very different
It's like bingo with us.
yeah, this is like a different YouTube channel now, not on Twitter today, it's just like all over the place basically, but yeah, we are here. Who would have thought to set up a simple streaming once a week? It's so complicated. But yeah, we took a little bit of a break. We were not streaming
YouTube at least.
last week, so not that many things happened, but yeah.
Yeah, wanna get into it?
Okay, I think
Properly intro it.
yeah,
Let's get
I think we
party
can
started.
get into it. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to the next weekly stream. We're gonna be talking about coins as we kind of usually do. Before we jump into things, streams are sponsored by Woo. Since this is on YouTube, there's a first link in the description. If you're gonna use that, it's gonna help us show Woo that you care and you like the streams. So with that being said, we can jump into things. Yeah. So what happened in last 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 week? We obviously have a little bit of a war news. So funnily enough, from all the kind of markets which you would consider to be risk off, obviously BTC, although trying to be many different things, we can kind of all agree that the closest is still kind of the risk on beta, the Nasdaq beta, basically just that. So this kind of a risk on market is doing quite bad, especially considering the fact that I'm looking at the ES chart right here. Yeah, and Runner has this kind of a spaghetti chart which he loves to post every time BTC is underperforming. Yeah, it doesn't look very well, to be fair. Obviously, you can see that it kind of, to give little credit to BTC, when it goes to the upside, it usually kind of outperforms that as well. But yeah, it's getting hit quite hard. All things considered, there are some more news, more escalations. Uh, so it's a little bit of a fragile market at this point. People are losing their shit on Twitter as they kind of always do. For me personally, I don't know. I spoke about probably the last stream that we had. I mentioned that I was long, which I closed around 65 65k. I think personally for me this is the kind of a if you maybe look at the daily chart.
Yeah, please feel free. Today it's everything when it comes to video, it's on me again. So if the production quality is shit, blame me for once. So Adam, just please don't forget to
Yeah,
tell me which type of chart you want me to pull up next.
yeah. No, I think this is good. Like if we just gonna take a look here at the daily chart, and you see this kind of a like if you just move the box a little lower, I would say to kind of there's a little bit of a more relevant level of SR, basically around this kind of a basically around that.
I mean,
Um,
for people watching, you just
yeah.
can keep moving the box up or down based on.
Yeah, basically just kind of a move the box until it fits her bias. But yeah, for me, I think this is pretty in like a key level. We obviously moved from 54 to 65k, so it's a pretty decent move. I think it broke some of the levels of market structure. It's kind of a significant push to the upside. So I personally really think that if BTC is strong, it should really kind of a hold here. There's this kind of those 3 days basically before we had the leg up, that kind of a consolidation before the move on the upside, that I would say that is pretty key level to kind of hold. So yeah, for me, Bitcoin, I'm getting a little bit of a long exposure at the moment. I'm old and I'm swing trading now, so I'm keeping things pretty wide when it comes to stop. I think I would kind of start to bail on the idea of of this being still kind of just a bullish retest, basically under like 57K. So there's definitely a little bit of more room that I'm giving to it, but from my point of view, I still think that there's a chance that we might jump, bounce back through to the upside from here.
I just tried changing some settings when it comes to my microphone because people have been saying I've been a bit not so loud. Either way, hopefully it's better. I can try and shout. I mean, I fully agree with you.
I can.
Yeah.
No, I just want to say that I can hear you fine. So, yeah.
Classic. It's worse though. Like worse, it's.
I think it's good. Yeah, it should be good. Maybe just put it closer, but the technical issues continue
Nah, fuck that. I mean,
forever.
fuck me, do it once. I'm here fucking putting
Yeah.
up fucking sure settings. I'm putting it on the previous and I'll just scream. It's fine. I can nothing.
Dude, you even have a fancy microphone.
decibels. I'm couple decibels low. Fuck me. I mean, I'm also long Ethereum, so there is more problems with me. Either way,
Yeah.
yeah. Look, I fully agree with
Yeah.
you. Look, fuck the volume. We just go. For now, for real. With the moving box up and down, I always, and I know this can like bite me in the ass, but what worked for me recently has been, the classic moving average Trador, and we are at 200-day EMA. So, I'm very big. It's just actually insanely accurate how crypto Twitter gets bullish. Like, the hit rate is unbelievable. Like, it is couple level accuracy when people get bullish altcoins and basically, screaming new all time, the classic jazz. And it's.
Yeah.
So, I think, like me personally, I think it's much better to look for long exposure on 200-day EMA touch. I mean, I know you're not like the biggest moving average trader, but this for me is area to get long BTC rather than and like trying to chase breakout weekly structure breaks, daily structure breaks. So
Yeah.
and
No,
right
I
now
mean
we
it
touched
makes
it.
sense. Like
We touched it literally just seconds ago. So
obviously it's been very tedious range. And people will get kind of crazy emotional at this point, and it's like I read Twitter throughout the day. It seems like we are just having these insane swings. Meanwhile, price is basically the same as it was in March. But yeah, it's I feel like there's this like a cycle of BTC going up, and usually what people just do instead is just go long altcoins. And then when Bitcoin starts to pull, because like how much BTC pulled from the highs, like 5%, 10%,
it's
be
like
around 10%, I guess. Yeah, and
9%.
people just round trip this kind of a the alt positions, which are obviously down way more. At least some of them are still doing pretty well. But yeah, I think there's not that much to talk about when it comes to Bitcoin from technical point of view. I think I shared some stuff on Twitter as well, which didn't really change in the last few
Fuck
days.
me, dude.
And yeah, if this is bullish, and if this is going to continue to the upside, then I think it should go from here. If you're gonna start to lose, under 57K, then I think this is most likely going to just resolve much lower. So yeah, pretty good spot. And I mean, like I said, I think you mentioned you got some longs, I got some longs as well. Like if it's not going to work out, it's not going to work out. It's not the end of the world. There is kind of a defined risk, at least for me, and like the overall area. So,
Just to
it's
clarify,
it's it's
which tickers, because people they hear long and they long fucking Shiba or something. So can
no,
you?
we are still continue to be boring and just talk about BTC for now. But yeah, these are pretty much the I what's the level of caution? I don't know, man. Like this is I just don't think that um it's just people really I feel like people really like so overestimate or like put way too much into kind of or like overthink some of these things while it's just like it's a solid spot. There are some of the EMA, some of the order flow stuff that I'm looking at is kind of there as well. So like I'm just gonna take a trade. If it's not going to work, I'm just going to close it. For me, most like I mentioned, it would be just closing, like losing 57K area on like a strong kind of closing basis, like a daily close underneath it or something like that. And like it's obviously I'm gonna lose some money, but like it's not the end of the world type of situation. So yeah, I don't really have set up to short now. So I'm just kind of sticking to the long side at the moment. So yeah, it's really kind of as simple as it is right now, at least for me.
As for me, I think I've been shorting a lot of altcoins. We can talk about it when we like transition, but I would I just feel dirty shorting Bitcoin. Like shorting Bitcoin to me is like shorting basically like crypto. You know what I mean? It sounds like there's so many shitcoins to short, and you choose to short the. And frankly, even one of the most like resilient assets at the moment. Anyways, we can talk about Bitcoin dominance. I know you consider that all like fugazi at this point, but it's just been up only. Or like, do you have any? Have you changed your take on Bitcoin dominance? It's been up only for 2 years
I'm
now.
going to be I'm going to be super honest. Basically ever since start of September when I longed around this kind of 56K area, I had some personal stuff to do. And then you still might hear I'm quite sick and I've been sick for like 10 days at this point. I had like a zero look at the altcoins. I just like I know what has been kind of doing well from Twitter. I know that Sui and meme coins and all of these things. I just kind of know what's been going on, but like I haven't traded anything else in crypto, at least outside of the BTC in last month. Basically, I kind of plan to do go back in, look at some of the charts maybe over the weekend, but at this point, I'm pretty kind of clueless when it comes to alts and BTC dominance and like BTC pairs and all of this.
Okay, I'll give you TLDR. Bitcoin rallied a little bit. Altcoins went ballistic. Everybody longed the top of altcoins. ETH BTC is down like 10% in last 3 days. And a lot of these even strong altcoins, like I have some watch list here of relatively strong coins as of late, as you discussed, you being sick and traveling. Dude, are you in the middle of traffic? What the fuck is happening?
There's someone just honking outside of like literally outside of my window. This is like a worst streaming situation ever. I just ended up staying at like the most busy street apparently. Or well, at least and every time I want to just like stream or do a video, like something is going on, but it should be fine now. Can
There's like
continue,
a
sorry.
riot in the street. Either way, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
We had a bit of like layer one, layer two, wombo combo, the classic trade. Everything but Ethereum from the topic of layer ones. We have now Aptos is getting some bid last 2 days, and then classic memes.
Are we
Which
just like kind of we kind of transferred into this like VC coins meta for a little bit,
for
like
like
these
three
these
days.
got absolutely these got absolutely shit on during the summer when memes were kind of doing well and now they just kind of bounced I feel like at a similar time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it just died, which to me is kind of surprising because Bitcoin, as of right now, is literally green on the day, while the quote unquote strongest coins of, if you were away last 3 weeks, this would be your kind of watch list. Mind you, please, these
Uh,
coins are like what we have on centralized exchanges. We don't really like how much on trading on chain do you do, Adam? Honest question.
Not much.
Right. So basically zero. Right. So this would be your centralized exchange, not a $20 million market cap, because Bybit has been, and Vuex too, to be fair, been listing a lot of interesting pairs, to say the least. So out of this, so putting these like filters or like conditions, if you will, these are like been strong, and even Athena, which I've been shorting a lot lately, is basically down like 36% from the top. It's
Yeah,
just basically the altcoins do what they do best: underperform and nuke. And so yeah, that's my quick like
and
TLDR and the Bitcoin dominance altcoin
yeah.
Dator.
I think there has been like definitely on a short side. There has been some nice setups on alts. Like I said, I haven't really traded any, but I briefly looked at like open interest gains on some of these coins, and obviously like these coins were down a lot overall, like from the top. But yeah, the kind of amount of like just OI came into these was pretty crazy. So these are always kind of a decent places to look for a little bit of a mean reversion.
Do you see anything in order flow when it comes to Bitcoin specifically? Because I straight up will not talk Ethereum. It's just sad. Like
I think what is interesting is this kind of a spot premium on BTC. You'll find it on Velo, which is this the aggregated premium indicator. It's basically a funding rate, kind of a more
aggregated funding
just funding.
or
No,
spot
yeah,
premium?
the aggregated premium basically.
Okay. Yeah, I have it here.
Aggregated. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty interesting because obviously it means that spot is trading above the per price. If you kind of zoom out a little bit, maybe look on a daily
Okay.
chart, you will see that every time if you just kind of obviously we had this the spot premium towards the kind of the whole downtrend from the all-time highs, but then inside this range. It's been now pretty kind of consistent premium, and like price is still doing holding pretty well. So this for me is like usually, especially in a ranging market, you obviously want to be going long when spot is above the per price and going short when perps are above the spot. So now this for me could be a little bit of a kind of bullish bias. Um, Other than that, not really. There are some of the which you're not gonna have these on Velo, but the spot order book that there has been some basically spot buyers on Binance, I think, where when which we had when we sold off on the October 1st when there was these the war news basically. So that's pretty interesting, but overall nothing too crazy. I'm not biggest fan of like open interest overall rallied a lot from the
Yeah.
lows.
Right.
It's
It's
like
actually
on the day
insane.
time frame. Yeah, it's quite insane, and it's all kind of all over the place. Like OI, and if you want to look at OI, it's usually much cleaner on altcoins where people just make these kind of crazy decisions. But on BTC, it rallied quite a bit actually from the lows, and it kind of staying there. This is one thing that I'm not a fan of. Like if during this kind of correction we would have like a huge flush on the open interest would be much better in my opinion, but that's still kind of a there.
Yeah, it does feel very messy to me, even though I'm like just when I talk shit on Twitter, it's usually on the reg days, the classic. But for me, I'm like still somehow I maybe it's just disbelief or cope. I'm leaning bullish. I just have to because there is this wild card of Orange Man winning elections in. And like
Yeah,
right
in a
now,
month basically.
everybody now is a geopolitical expert because Iran has been tweeting more than just people fighting in that part of the world, and but still we like
Yeah.
those headlines are kind of hopefully like the worst is behind us, and also U.S. elections literally like 30 days away. So that is my kind of thesis for, even though we always advocate for intra-week or relatively shorter like we're not the traders to be like, what is your target for Bitcoin for February 2026? Like, I don't like, dude, right? But in this like example, I'm definitely trying to personally shift my bias towards a bit more swing trade into Q4. Granted, Trump wins the election, basically TLDR. I still think like if he wins, I can see this market just rallying super hard, and until then, I'm
most
martingale
likely.
into my long.
It's always kind of tricky with all of these like big geopolitical stuff and news and like obviously like how much of this is priced in already. Like there are so many people just anticipating this. Worth to kind of mention that stocks are obviously, and like S&P is basically trading at all-time highs or very close to it. So yeah, like definitely the risk on stuff is kind of extended. I don't know, like the tradfi is overall in a very interesting spot. Obviously gold and silver are probably the kind of the biggest winners alongside the stocks, which usually not is not the case.
You know what's
These
funny?
two
You know what's funny? Gold year to date, 29% green, like plus 29%. Silver, 35%. Let's do Ethereum now.
Yeah. Yeah, gold and silver definitely
2%.
very very strong. So yeah, it's a very interesting market at the moment. Obviously everyone is kind of anticipating the elections. I'm pretty curious, how it's all going to play out. But yeah, like you said, we are not really trading these type of time frames, looking into multi months in advance. So no point really to kind of bother yourself with that in the first place. So we can probably switch over to some of the altcoins.
Maybe I just have a
If there are
couple
any.
more with
Yeah,
TradFi
sure.
because I'm not here to gonna shelve your fucking bootcamp or blueprint like your courses, but I know you do trade a bit of TradFi too, and I wondered if there is maybe technical. Is there anything technical you see on TradFi in terms of, or like I know you, not necessarily what type of setups you took, but as far as like confluence and correlation, like what I'm trying to say, is there like a level for S&P 500 for you that you would be interested to look for, longs in crypto?
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny because I haven't traded like indices in a very in a quite a while. Last time I traded Russell, which was like back in summer. So yeah, I'm like usually I trade a lot of commodities, to be fair, and I trade a little bit of bonds, which um should kind of go into it. And like I said, I was basically during the FOMC I was shorting the 30-year US bond, which in theory should kind of go into this kind of a inverse correlation with the indices, because obviously one is risk on, one is risk off. But yeah, I think that the whole kind of Iran Israel situation kind of messed things up a little bit, and indices are still holding quite strong at the moment, at least S&P mostly. So yeah, like I said, it's pretty weird, and dollar is also quite strong in the last couple of days. So it's kind of all over the place, to be fair. Um, seems like we have these kind of reactions to the war. Energies are super up, like crude oil, and some of the energies are basically kind of winning in this. But yeah, it's very tough, and I'm not like that deep into. I have very basic understanding of some of these like correlations and things, like how these markets kind of move against each other. But
No, fair. I don't want to also have our listeners fall asleep due to us, like, what do you think of Sui? And then Adam is talking about crude oil, cocoa futures, and
yeah.
shorting or coconut, like whatever.
Snorting coke. Yeah, so um Ondo, yeah, you've been trading Ondo quite a bit, right?
Yeah. But oof.
It's also retraced quite a bit.
Yeah, but it's really it's dust compared to Bitcoin.
Are there any kind of like, because like this has been the big, like the narrative with the BlackRock and
RWA.
everything. Yeah, the RWA. This is like the main thing, like before the summer, and it feels like it just died down
Remember
completely.
Deepin? Have you heard Deepin in months? Like I have not.
Yeah, I heard that it was like a big buzzword for a while, then also kind of a vanished. But yeah, is there anything like going on with
No. Wait, on the like,
no.
look, I mean, reality is, I think people just what I believe we see today. So Bitcoin is flat, while altcoins are getting absolutely fucking obliterated, and I feel like it's just basically people capitulating on these bullshit narratives, and it's genuinely insane how people fall for these. Like they think like AI is the future. Like I'm speechless at this point. How many times do people need to lose money on these shitcoins for them to, buy Bitcoin? But when every time Bitcoin goes up 3%, obviously these things go up 20%, and everybody falls for the same old lullaby again. So yeah, Deepin,
Yeah,
haven't heard
that's
anything. RWA, rest in peace. Like, what was the main coins? MakerDAO was a big one. Look at, like, I have
oh
chart heat of MakerDAO. That was the main RWA coin at the time. It's actually like
a lot of
might be
these
the worst
yeah.
looking chart I've seen in a while.
Yeah, a lot of these things really just die down quite a bit, and obviously when I think like for Sui, that everyone talks about it on a timeline now. It's like I don't know. I know that there were some news about it. It's, to be fair, it's trading pretty close to the all-time high, but kind of rejecting super hard today. Yeah, it's tough, and people just keep kind of the meme coins also had a
Meme
little
coins.
bit of their spot, but I'm just wondering if this is like like for example on Wave, and obviously
Yeah, Wave
a
looks
few months from
okay.
now, Wave is trading at $25 and everyone is laughing at me, but like we have these rallies, and we had one in July on Wave as well, and these just high or like any kind of a meaningful, like they just lack this kind of a follow through. And like, if you're gonna take a look, like if you just zoom out, and I hate to kind of
Which coin
be
and which
this
timeline?
on Wave, basically, even on a daily, it's fine. It's probably, yeah, and or on a weekly. Like you see how these kind of rallies just are like smaller and smaller, and people just kind of get super excited, but then it's basically just fails to make any kind of new high, fails to kind of hold strong. So yeah, for where you have this 1.8 area is pretty kind of a key level now to hold, I would say, for Wave. But
Yeah.
these things just like um seems to just be a little bit worse every time they rally. But it's interesting because like it's once again, I think, and this is one of the reasons why, especially now, since I'm like trying to hold things a little longer, I have such a hard time to trade altcoins, because at the end of the day, I feel like the BTC is really still kind of running the show. If Bitcoin is going to correct
Let's go. Adam has
10%,
been orange pilled.
I don't think that my altcoins long term gonna stand much of a I'm a little bit not feeling most comfortable basically holding just a bunch of like alt positions. I have like when I see some of these people on Twitter who trade like huge sizes, and they post a screenshot of like 15 different altcoin longs at the same time, I'm always like, yeah, that's pretty interesting, but like what if BTC just going to dump 5% from here
I
basically?
mean, that was literally the last few days, right? And I think, look,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be fair, I think that is still reasonable when people can manage their risk and know what the fuck they're doing. But I mean, you literally work at a company where people don't really do something called risk management, right? So like when people copy that type of style, basically just go YOLO spray bunch of altcoins leveraged on cross margin, right? Like how does it usually end? With a beautiful email.
Yeah.
Beautiful email from the exchange. So I don't know. It just
So do we have?
Mhm.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask if we have any kind of like meaningful narratives, because we had, conferences, which kind of played into the overall BTC strength. So that's,
there was the Solana thing, right?
that's
We can maybe discuss it because we both took it,
yeah.
right?
Which one? Sorry,
Solana.
on Sol. Yeah. Yeah, I had a long which I closed super duper early,
Same.
to be fair. Yeah, I did. It's yeah, it's looking like shit, to be fair. Like if it should be, if like it's for me literally, like just looking at this chart for a couple of seconds, like it really should bounce from here. Like this is either the bottom, or we are just going like gonna test like 100 or something like that. So it's not looking that kind of strong to me at the moment. But at the end of the day, like I actively watch Sol. Basically, Sol, Eden, BTC are like three coins that I look at every day at once. I feel like, and ETH at this point is just like a, you don't exactly know the reason why you keep looking at it, but I think Sol, it's still probably have like more coming for it compared to ETH.
It's tough. I think what we see last few days with altcoins basically completely dying against Bitcoin is just people giving up on those dreams again. And I think it's healthy. I don't know. People hate these tweets. They're like, "You're being fucking mean." Well, maybe the tech is actually like the narratives are completely fugazi. And what is also interesting, like if I pull up a token unlocks, somehow mysteriously, and I'm not putting any specific influencer on blast here on the pedestal, but somehow basically when you have on token unlocks you have the biggest unlocks of the week. Somehow these altcoins are always the most hyped on the timeline, on the long side, and then they always end up looking like, for example, Celestia.
Yeah.
Or
But there is a
Ethena.
trade in that. Like, to be fair, Celestia was really nice, and I haven't took it. But if you, since you have it there, like the rally in Celestia, which was like beginning of September, if I'm not mistaken, like the first half of September. Yeah, like this, like I said, I wasn't really present much, but like this rallied into the unlocks, if I'm not mistaken, if
There's
I
still a few weeks
was paying.
away.
Okay.
But
Well,
if it gives a
that's
dead cat bounce, I'm shorting the shit out of this.
So that's pretty interesting, because I thought the unlocks kind of happened already or are much sooner. But yeah,
Let me
the
check.
rally in Celestia was pretty interesting because there was like a huge negative funding, which is pretty rare in when it comes to these like quote unquote bigger coins. I believe that Celestia is still has at least like 100 million OI or something like that. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. Like, the my point is here that, like, obviously, altcoins and stuff is getting shelled on Twitter, and like, it's not all bad, to be fair. Like, you still can find a decent trades. Obviously, it's always kind of feels better to try to short these things, like, because at the end of the day, like, the most kind of vocal people are very likely to be wrong. Um, but even if you just catch things at the beginning, taking kind of the long side, um, can be really a good trade there.
Yeah, the unlock is in 26 days, so it's. But what they
That's
did at the
quite
bottom,
far. So that's
what happened at the bottom is there was basically announcement of like 100 mil investment round by some.
I see.
So like a OTC deal type packaged as, and people run with it. And I think a lot of these altcoins that used to did like last few weeks, in the bull run of September 2024, and
Yeah, like, you can, to be fair, like, make a like watch list with like 10, maybe 15 altcoins, and just kind of go with it through for like next year, and you're probably not going to miss on much. You're just gonna put like 5 biggest meme coins, and some of these like layer ones, whatever Celestia is, who cares at the end of the day? And yeah, you just kind of keep an eye on these.
One thing I would like to mention is, people love to put these targets in like, we're gonna top in Q2 2025, which is completely useless fucking analysis. But if that was to play out, bro, GCR is making a comeback. He's gonna come on Twitter and he's gonna post a screenshot with 1,000 short positions, because some of these tokens, including Ondo, even though I'm like the guy always longing and bull posting Ondo has like basically circulating supply will almost triple. It's like these unlock schedules will be absolutely insane. So I think it will be a lot of fun potentially pair trading some of these altcoins. Right, so let's say long BTC, short Ondo, or whatever the ticker might be. But that's something I'm looking forward to do in the coming, maybe in 6 months or so.
Yeah, the pair trades are a super interesting thing. I'm also has been kind of always too lazy to just put much time into it, but yeah, you can do a lot of things when it comes to pair trading, and especially if you like follow all of these narratives and just trade basically altcoins kind of against each other.
Yeah, I wrote like a note on the screen that Ondo will have in January 135% circulating supply unlock, which is $1.3 billion. It's just what the fuck, man.
I think the only big pair trades that we did was ETH BTC, and that's probably not the best pair you want to be trading, especially on the long side.
Well, but you know that
but yeah,
somehow it really worked out for me. It's just actually a miracle.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like the. I think I like ended up making money on that as well. It's just like funny to look back into it. But yeah, like I said, pair trades like trading meme coins against each other. There was this like a situation with SHIB when they announced their kind of layer 3 or whatever it was, and I love to kind of shit on that because I feel like it's when the meme coin is trying to be anything more than just a meme coin is kind of a bad thing, and I think SHIB it rallied quite a bit, but the chart it's pretty dead. So yeah, when it comes to pair trading, there's a lot of things you can do. Or you just trade like a relative strength or against the weakness. You don't need any narratives for that. You just
it's
look
super easy how to spot it. You go to Velo, you go for market, you have top gainers, top losers, and you play around with the tool. I mean, sector performance and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's not super sophisticated.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have any altcoins that you guys would love to see and
I want to talk about my favorite coin. In the meantime, to give people some time.
ETH?
Fuck you, dude.
We haven't talked about ETH. We've been live for 40 minutes and we haven't talked about ETH once. Basically, like ETH.
So what do you see? Which time frame do you want?
I don't think there's need. You posted actually on Twitter today, and I kind of agree with that. And I have a lot. That's I think maybe a little too steep, but like around. I have first alert at like 2100, and I think it could easily, but it could easily trade like 1900. Yeah, somewhere in that kind of area.
Unfortunately, profile for some reason is not loading, but okay, even because people think I'm just blindly shitting on ETH. Like ETH made a text picture perfect lower high on weekly, and I don't know. It's actually, I genuinely don't even know what to say anymore. If people like asking for Ethereum bull posting, it's it's like a business that went out of business years ago, and people
yeah, it's pretty sad. Yeah, let's just. I think there's like not much going on for it. I think the ETF overall situation, it wasn't what we all were maybe hoping for it to be, but there is like no point to kind of just.
Yeah, no. Some things that I think been very actionable. I've been trading a lot. Has been I don't know even how to pronounce it. Egun layer. One of their devs explained it how to pronounce it. Regardless, it's been, I think, in my opinion, because there's like a lot of noise, a lot of volatility. This, in my opinion, has been the easiest trade like in a long time. And I said it last week about shorting Ethena, but you have a new listing basically, right? New perp listing on all the exchanges, new major release launching at like high FDV, and the trade is very simple. You just like literally short at listing and close like a few minutes later, and I've done it just over and over and over again. And I mean, yeah.
Yeah. What's been going on with Aptos? Someone asked about it in the chat, and I saw people talking about it on Twitter today as well. Has there been any news, or it's just like down so bad? It's just going up because it's down so bad.
Oh, I mean, I've seen people quote tweeting Aptos Autumn or something.
Which is like just another buzzword, basically.
I mean, what else in crypto?
Yeah, it's holding up.
No, but look, it is a strong looking chart on lower time frames. Like, we can sit here and cry that nothing has fundamentals, which I think we can almost everybody unanimously agree. And Aptos is, as of today, stronger than Sui.
Yeah,
Well,
I like it. I like it quite a bit. There's obviously like a decent kind of spike in OI, but if it can like that is one of the things, and I saw like people making this little bit of a mistake often. When like there's a lot of OI, it immediately means that it must be a short. Like usually, especially on altcoins, like it can run and be silly for a little longer than people can kind of stay solvent. So yeah, Aptos is not looking bad if it can hold, if it can like trade back above. I think that $9 would be pretty decent.
I would
Decent
definitely
spot.
not. I think like to maybe hopefully be actually something actionable from this stream. Even though altcoins are down bad and like you might feel jaded, like everything is a scam, I trusted influencers again, fuck me. Like if you have this kind of mindset, the worst thing you can do is short a strong altcoin. Right? Would you agree that, if everything is weak as fuck and you're shorting the strongest one, that's probably the most stupid move you can make. And
Yeah,
I see a lot of it. I've
probably.
seen a
Yeah.
lot of people shorting Sui, and it's like, why? Like,
Yeah.
what was that? Was it you?
Yeah, there's some like weird sounds coming from
No way.
sorry.
No way. So like,
This is
if Aptos is strong, just don't. I would not look for shorts on Aptos personally.
yeah, Aptos is definitely a little bit one of the better ones. So there's quite a few
People request
in the
50
chat. We are so back. I will answer this about the aggregated premium. Which time frame or higher is good? I think yeah, like the higher time frame for this is better. Obviously people do like when they are trading lower time frames, they like go to like 5 minute chart and look, if it's like increasing or decreasing on lower time frames and try to kind of like gauge, if there's like a more leverage coming in or whatever is happening. But yeah, I just look at it at a higher time frame basically. Just see, yeah, like the runner showing in April when Aptos, rallied really a lot, and there's a high kind of there's high premium on the developed chart basically. Yeah, something like this. This is like when you want to be careful, not kind of overstay or welcome in longs. And you can see how much is kind of sold off because there's just like so much perp led rally, which usually is not really sustainable in a long run.
But yeah, look at this
So
thing. Look at with this thing with Aptos, like so, because we love to do horizontal chart lines on open interest these days, right? Because we are so 2025. But like it is quite a bit of increase in open interest in Aptos.
yeah,
Like all things considered, where price is trading versus amount of leverage, it's pretty insane actually. So I'm personally gonna definitely have this on my watch list. This is
Yeah.
intriguing to me
What
personally.
what do you generally want to see in situations like these, when you are like looking into buy into like a rally which is already established, which we can say here is, and we had a little bit of that actually in the last couple of what time frame is this chart, days?
This is daily.
Like when you have a yeah, like when you have the open interest basically kind of decreasing, which we had, at the kind of end of September. No,
Do you want
like
it in
yeah,
coins
this
in
one.
dollars?
And I think coins is better usually. And yeah, just like decrease in open interest, but price basically remaining the same. This is where you want to be kind of buying.
Yeah.
Which we, like I said, we had a little bit of that, and you can see that basically today and yesterday Aptos kind of started to bounce back again. But again, a lot of OI coming in at the same time, so people just are very horny, seems like.
Your bot is actually giving me a new computer. H4 candles we just had. So
Oh
it's
yeah, yeah. The open interest changes. Um, so this is Aptos. What else is there? Yeah, can maybe look at Solana?
yeah.
I know that
Yeah,
many
just
people
please
trade
tell me
that.
because
We
I'm
have
trying to look at a million things. So
yeah. I think I don't know. Like
I
Sol,
mean, it's
I
been lagging
just
between both
there.
Sui, Sei, and also Aptos now. It's actually insane.
Yeah, there is a large, and I know that you cannot, you don't have the chart here, but there is a decent amount of aggregated spot bid coming in. Like there is people just want to, spot market is bidding Solana. So I just hate this overall kind of 130 level, this support which was tested like 30 million times at this point, like we started testing it in April. It's kind of similar to, BTC and
Yeah.
ETH, like Sol hasn't really been that much of a different coin in the last 6 months, basically. So yeah, I think the data for things that I'm looking at are looking pretty solid. I just don't know exactly where I would, if I would buy this, which I most likely would do. Um, no, not sure here really, but yeah. If well, I think I already mentioned this on a stream today. If it's strong, it should bounce from here and not really go any lower, because otherwise, then I think it's going to just nuke much lower, like $200 or something like that.
But you know what I tweeted today is, and I genuinely believe this, is I feel like, because we've been around for a few cycles now, I feel like Solana this cycle is acting like Ethereum when you look at like just the relative performance, how it's holding up and whatnot, and its ecosystem performance, while Sui is acting like the last cycles, how basically Solana acted. As if like they passing on the
Yeah.
torch a little bit, and Ethereum is just, I mean, it's acting like Litecoin.
The shitcoin torch.
LTC BTC
Yeah.
is my favorite chain.
Some other mentions, some very like smaller coins, Popcat. I always bring that up. You always can ask what it is. It's
But
probably
it's
one of the
strong.
strongest meme coins.
It is strong.
Yeah, it is very strong. It's just yeah. I don't know much to say about it, to be fair. Like there is like coins that don't have any data, or like they have very little data like this. There's like you cannot really use much of a order flow tools there, because there's just not enough data for it. So yeah, you usually just kind of take it off, like use sentiment, like to be fair, like one thing, and I don't really trade meme coins, but like one thing that I like about these, and trading on like on-chain stuff, besides the fact that you can just get, nuked on and everything can rank within a second, is the fact that like you are trading against like the most kind of the emotional type of people. So stuff like support and resistance and moving averages can really work, and can actually be like a sole edge, only because like your counterparties are basically people just having Phantom Wallet open on their phone and seeing, their back being down 10% and starting to panic extremely. So it's very like a technical kind of a market.
But also, look, I would put it this way, and this is such a shitty advice, but it's not advice, yeah, it's just my opinion. But if like you have very good edge and very good feel for Bitcoin bottoms, if like you're actually consistent, right, and like let's say you're 90 for whatever, high confidence that Bitcoin is like bottoming, probably buying Popcat is, probably profitable. But I mean,
Venture.
imagine you like going fucking 7 figures long Popcat on Bybit or whatever. Just no. Maybe, Adam, maybe what this market needs is for us to start trading this shit, and like maybe we finally bottom, if there's a stream when we talk about the trades we took on Popcat, we might, like, I'll do anything for Ethereum to go up at this point. Like, I'll trade Popcat.
Yeah, that's fair. Someone asking about the CVD absorption. I don't really look at this. I don't think it's a useful, like CVD overall. I don't think it's no, just overall. Okay. I don't think the CVD is useful on like a bigger time frames. It's always trending down.
1 minute time frame.
Yeah. If you scalping, if you are day trading, then it's very good. If you are swing trading and old and boring like me, it's not really great. So I don't really use it.
So CVD is very useful on like below 15 minute and like higher time frames. They always trend down, no matter what happens. So if you look, almost always you'll see on higher time frames CVDs look like Ethereum chart basically.
Yep. So I think we covered few things. So looking at some of the coins, STX, I don't know if it's doing anything good. It's just a BTC beta still. If you have it there,
it's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just feels
to be
like
fair, and this
chart.
is like this is like I don't know, like it might be something like wrong with me, but like when I want to, like I really, when I am bullish BTC, I just size into Bitcoin trade rather than trying to, trade altcoins, trade BTC beta or whatever. So I find these things really kind of unattractive to trade for me.
And yeah, I mean, people like for example, position sizes on Ondo is like literally single digit percentage compared to Bitcoin positions. So it's like if even if it goes 2x, right, Ondo, like I'll make like nothing. It's obviously good. Like I'm not complaining. Profit is profit. I'm not gonna be sitting here like money grows on a tree. But it's literally just like a side quest, right? It's like I'm bored. I wanna like nibble a little bit. That for me altcoins are. And sure, I'm sure like there's a lot of people watching who just go 10x leverage every single Popcat trade. I mean, mashallah, inshallah, whatever people say, good fucking luck to you. But I don't know. You either end up on like Binance leaderboard in a week or you end up homeless. And the second option is more likely. Like, anyway, I think it's very fair to say that both of us are very conservative when it comes to risk.
Yeah, like but even if you look, I saw this kind of a sheet, and I have no idea how actually true it is. I spent like zero time verifying it, but someone shared this Bybit leaderboard traders like top 20 or whatever, and like 90% of them were only trading Bitcoin and ETH. And Sol.
I'm honestly not surprised.
Yeah, and there were some like altcoins, like, and if there were altcoins, there were like a big ones, like there was Pepe, there were like, the thing that has like a lot of volume, but you didn't really saw many of like super shitters you see on CT usually.
Yeah, I'm really trying to think like, and I know you want to wrap it up already, but I'm always like thinking what could be the explanation. I always get the feedback of, but why you celebrate Bitcoin 10% move when this shitcoin went up 30x, or like not 30x, but you know, like 35%. And it's even hard to like argue. I don't even know where to start because it's just fundamentally, in my opinion, wrong approach to look at things. Remember the classic reaction of like, why the fuck are you trading Forex? It barely moved.
Yeah,
Classic.
the sizing really makes all the difference. So yeah, I think just the altcoins, I think they are, you know, like at the end of the day, like if things when they this is not what I want to say. Like at the end of the day, if things go really crazy, and you know BTC would go to all-time high from here, I think altcoins are gonna do very well, and you know they're going to be definitely a bunch of outperformers. So if you are in there, just be careful. So yeah, I think we can wrap it up for today. We've been live almost for an hour. Thank you guys for tuning in. As I mentioned at the beginning of the streams are sponsored by Woo. So if you want to support us and show Woo and us that you enjoy the streams, you can make an account with the first link you'll find in the description. And with all of that being said, we will catch you guys next week.
Yeah, have a good day and good luck in the trenches.